Hey there, ballers, shot callers. Welcome to Desi Ballers, the podcast where we talk all things basketball with a Desi twist. I'm your co host, Nikhil. With me is Gopal. Hey, Gopal.
Hey, hi guys. What's up with the rhymes, Nikhil? I love it.
Let's get straight into today's episode. So, very quickly, we have some very interesting guests for you today. But our very first guest is going to be Deepak, who is from straight out of India. We're going to talk a little bit of NBA basketball after that. And we have a really interesting guy, Agu Stanley, who's a Nigerian Hindi speaking basketball player who's absolutely tearing up the local league. So that's the lineup we have for you today. So Gopal, over to you for our first guest.
Yeah, awesome.
So sorry, Gopal, to interrupt you here. Can you just check your mic again because it seems really low.
Hey, can you hear me? It's better now. I hope you can hear me.
Okay, so what I'll do is, Gopal, I'll just give you a couple of seconds while you sort out your mic issues. Just unplug and plug it in again. Meanwhile, I'll just load up our guests for today. So the very first guest which we'll have is Deepak Chopra from straight out of India. Now he is a content creator and he's organizing basketball tournaments from Kochi, Kerala. So Gopal, can you tell a little bit more about straight out of India?
Yup. First off, I hope you can hear me. I hope you guys can hear me.
You're clear now.
And yes, and just a quick correction there. He's not Deepak Chopra. In fact, I don't know what his surname is. So I think Nikhil just decided to fill in the blanks, which is interesting. So I'm pretty sure he's not Deepak Chopra, but I don't know what his surname is because if he is Deepak Chopra, he'll be the first Deepak Chopra from Kerala, Nikhil.
Oh God, okay. Huh. I'm
But it's
extremely
okay.
sorry, Deepak.
Yeah, he's just Deepak. In fact, that's a question we're going to ask him. How come he's just Deepak, and what his surname is? So I think that's
Okay.
that's a good segue for us. But anyway, just to give you guys some context, so there are very few content creators in the Indian basketball space. So Deepak started off as straight out of Kochi, and then obviously, I guess because his platform was so popular, he decided to expand and make it like straight out of India, right? So he covers, he's like a visual multimedia content creator, and his production is really top notch. So he specializes in these highlight clips and slow mo videos, and really puts players on the map. In the way he projects and brings out the talent of these players. So yeah, that's who Deepak is, and we are excited to have him and have him talk about everything that he does, right from being a content creator to also uh, being a tournament organizer. So Deepak also organizes something called the Don Bosco Arena. That's how I came in touch with him, right? Because he was doing a fundraiser, a very interesting fundraiser about 4 years ago to help the local community also grow in Kochi. But yeah, we can see Deepak. Hey, Deepak, how's
Hey
it going,
Deepak,
bro?
what's up? How are you?
I'm good, good. What's up?
Awesome,
How are
awesome,
you?
awesome. No, we are good. We are good. So let's just start, right? Like, Deepak, can you take us through, your platform and
Can you tell us a
what?
bit more about straight out
Yeah.
of India, Deepak?
Yeah, Straight Out of India started back in 2019, I think, um, October 2019. Uh, Corona came, halted everything, so I had to just make 100 videos from one tournament itself. But the thing is, I learned how to edit and I learned how to make videos of literally nothing during that phase. And post COVID, yeah, um, I've been a bit active. I've done close to 1,000 videos till now, original content, and that is very important. Original content, so things which I go shoot, things which I create, which is original content. The exclusivity, the rights, everything belongs to me. That kind of a content, and yeah, so that has been Straight Out of India's journey. And over the last, let's say, 7 months, I've started something called Straight Out of India Live, where I've covered national games, nationals, and a lot of other tournaments, and I've live streamed it on YouTube. I've not been very active on YouTube, but yeah, streaming because I believed from what we have, in fact, what we had here in terms of YouTube streaming, I believe the quality was bad. So that's when I stepped in. I showed, okay, the quality has to be better. And in a good way, that has changed, or in fact, forced a lot of people to have better quality when it comes to streaming. I use proper devices. I use a lot of devices, which is extreme because I believe basketball is still alien to a larger percentage of our crowd in our country. So the way we project basketball, the way we project our videos should be in such a way that people who don't follow the sport, or in fact, people who don't play the sport, should want to play the sport. It's different when you show it to someone who plays the sport, right? Because and that crowd is a very small crowd. But I believe it's always about someone who doesn't play ball, or someone who has not opportunity to play the ball, comes and sees my video and probably wants to at least go to the court and try shooting an under basket. So that has been the focus. So, and I've always been very specific about the quality of the videos. And so yeah, so that's where I come in the picture when it comes to straight up India League. In fact, anything about Indian basketball, learned through. In fact, I read through Gopal. Gopal is like the one who used to inform about Indian basketball, because no one knew that there was such a, because everything is, there's no proper, let's say, there's no news media or something which covers Indian basketball, right? At
Right.
that point, I remember long back, I think Eglavis had a site, and I had written a mail to Gopal saying, I want to work with you. My name is Deepak. That's long back. Okay, I don't remember when though. I think it's 2015, 16. I'm not sure though. So I wanted to work and also, yeah. So Gopal was at the pitch. Then overtime came. Ishu came, right? And Ishu came to my tournament, and we had hosted a dunk contest. And one guy jumped over a car. So that video was kind
Wow.
of viral. I wanted to post it. So Ishu told me like, you can't post it because there's content rights, because overtime holds the rights to the content and stuff like that. So
Right.
that's when I was like, I need to start doing it. So in fact, it's just because of that issue. It's because of issue that I started this page. Until that point, I was like, I was just happy hosting tournaments. I was happy hosting summer camps. I was happy playing every day from 5 to 8. That was my routine. I was never into, because look, I'm old. I'm 36. Okay, I'm I'm a guy who knows what Instagram is. My name was Discount Dwayne. My Instagram handle name was Discount Dane because I was the discounted version of Dane Johnson. So I was
Yeah.
so
Okay.
so I had six posts over a period of 1 year. Nothing on Instagram. Okay, it's that person who in fact learned everything about Instagram, and in fact started doing content on Instagram. And I've learned through the process over the last 4 years. That's been a learning for over the last 4 years. I've learned a lot of things, how social media works, a lot of other stuff, and probably that's the reason that the content was good. And I got an opportunity to work with INBL, International Basketball League, when they conducted the season here. Like one season, they went across 4 cities, and I was the official content creator for them. And I worked with TNBA, and I worked with TNBA. And someone in Tamil Nadu saw my video, and I became the official content creator and creative head for Chennai Blitz, which is a prime volleyball franchise. So I work for them now. So I'm working for them over the last 3 months. Till November, I'll be working for them. So small opportunities have come up, but again, it's a tough ride, okay, because there's no fund involved in this, right? You need to, in order to keep this floating, you need to have someone help you on a monthly basis. Like this should be more or less like a profession for you, where you're getting paid monthly, and that doesn't happen, right? So it's a tough ride, but I love this. Okay, that's the main thing. I don't do it for the only reason I've kept doing this is because there's nothing in the world like more than creating a video and probably someone texting me saying that, okay, dude, that video is good. Okay, so that's kind of my kick. Okay, a lot of people don't understand that because they don't understand, because quitting a good job and starting to doing this traveling around India. But I don't know. I'm just happy doing this. So been doing this for this long now, 4 years now.
That's pretty cool, man. So tell me a bit more about how it got started. It started off as straight out of Kochi, right? So what
Yeah,
was the
yeah.
entire thought process behind that?
No, I told, right. My purpose was, when it came to video content, it was Overtime India. It was the only page which was putting out video content, right? So I saw the videos, and our dunk competition. I had kind of a small argument with the issue, followed with the issue. So my purpose was just I want to start this, and I want to show that I make better videos. That was my first purpose. After that, we became friends. That's a different thing. But my initial point was, look, I can make content better.
Right.
I can make content which is not just black hip hop music. I can put Indian music. I can make basketball players or basketball game which can relate to Indian content, which is the last thing anyone would ever think of, right? You can't imagine probably a Tamil music playing in the background of someone who's hooping or someone who's dunking. But at the end of it, it's all beats, right? If you're able
Right.
to catch a beat and if you're able to connect that to the person who is in the video, I think that works. And Straight Out of Kochi because I loved that other movie, Straight Out of Compton. Okay, and I'm like, okay, why not Straight Out of Kochi? Because I was like, the revolution of basketball going to start from our court in Don Bosco, Vanilla. We hosted the tournament back in 2018, so we wanted to do it, and we wanted to do it for the rest of our lives. And it was the first tournament where we set a standard on how tournaments should be hosted, the kind of facilities that should be provided to players who travel and come for the tournament, the kind of food that should be given, a lot of these kind of stuff. Okay, so that's why I started that, and that has been the story, bro.
So I can totally imagine, the now that you pointed out, the Vati coming song playing when someone is on a fast break.
Yeah.
So anyway, over to you, Gopal. So I think Gopal's disconnected. Let me continue the next question, which was, what's been the response from the basketball community? What have they told you? What have they, what kind of response you've got from the players? What kind of response you've got from the teams, from the coaches, and from the people who end up watching your videos? Because your videos have have amazing views.
Yeah. Content wise, all of them say, "Oh, you bro, your content is the best content." And imagine, like, if you are a player and I'm putting out a video of yours, right? Your family gets to see it, your relatives get to see it, right? A lot of people won't understand in India still if their parents ask, the relatives ask, "What does your kid do?" They say, "I play ball," right? So they don't get it, right? So in that aspect, uh, I've been able to create videos which could probably make people and their kids and their parents proud. Number one. Second is I, because of my travel issues, like because I'm not funded by anyone, I'm a single entity, just with few friends like Binoy, few friends of mine. I've never had the fun to travel outside South. South is affordable. Till Hyderabad, it's affordable. So I've been able to, like, because overtime basically works from the north, right? Even though they travel a lot to the south also, but I've been able to showcase more players from the south. It's because
Right.
of my travel, because I've traveled more to south and more tournaments in the south.
Right.
So
It's
the
literally
rest,
just a financial restriction where you end up doing a lot of South coverage.
true. And I don't want to take names, but there are few people who have got jobs because whenever there is an opportunity, there is a government opening for a job, like this kind of can be a reference for the coaches who select them. Where I'll put up a summary video. If I create 4 or 5 videos of someone, they get to watch it. They know how good this kid is, and I write a bit also. I'm not just posting saying post on. I probably write a paragraph and I post about individual mixtapes and stuff and all. So in that way people are happy. I get a lot of heart emojis and all, but at the end of the day when it comes to something, let's say I put up a post saying, dude, I want to go car in national games, is there someone who can help? uh, I don't get a lot of help, which is sad, because I believe if there are, like, let's say 30,000 people following you, right? If 500 people decide, okay, we are going to put 200 rupees each, or we are going to put 300 rupees each, this man can actually travel to probably a national games happening in Punjab, and he can create some good content. He can write about what's happening there.
Right.
So in that way, I don't think I'm not saying I'm disappointed, but I always wonder, like, because
It's quite early in the Indian basketball scene, I guess, and because
uh,
of this, like, uh, the number of, I mean, the number of brands, the number of players, the number of followers also may not be, they'll be generally kids or people are not earning. I don't know. You'll have to tell me. But that's how I'm looking at it. It's
Yeah, I hope my audio is clear now. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, Gopal, go ahead.
Okay, I'm so sorry about that, Deepak. This is what you're talking about, right? High quality video production. And that's why I
No,
write
and
articles.
so
You don't have
yeah.
to worry about production. Go ahead,
So
Nikhil.
yeah, we're right now. So let's move on to the next question. Now, when you've gone outside of Kerala, can you share some funny incidents or some funny stories which have happened to you when you've gone about creating content, telling people I'm going to cover you and all of that?
There have been instances where probably the third day of the tournament I'll be stuck with no money, where I could not probably extend one more day of staying there,
Okay.
and because there are one or two people who travel with me, I pay them to do the videography thing. Creative side I handle, okay, and but one thing, sad to say that, but I've got a lot of love outside Kerala
Okay.
compared to what I get here. I've got a lot of love outside Kerala, and
Right.
people have been very kind. There have been instances where people have offered that I could stay with them at their places and stuff, and also because another funny story, not exactly with me, but the kids who travel with me, right? The 23, 24-year olds who travel with me, they're not very familiar with the language Hindi, but I know Hindi.
Hmm.
So I understand when people speak Hindi. So there are a lot of instances where organizers would be coming and speaking to them in Hindi for non-stop for a minute, and they'll be like, "What did they speak?" And the dude will come and ask me, "Deepak Cheta, what did they tell me? I didn't understand what." Yeah, so that kind of
Interesting.
stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
So, can you, Gopal? I hope you're here.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So, moving on to the next question, Gopal, over to you.
Yeah, so Deepak, can you just take us through the Don Bosco Arena tournament itself, right? This is something you and I have spoken about in the past, but what are like generally, for others who may want to organize basketball tournaments, broadly, what are the challenges, apart from the financial side? Can you just take us through, for a private organizer like you, what are the difficulties and challenges in organizing a basketball tournament?
Main hindrance is no sponsors, and there's no, like, if you take Kerala as a state, right? If you It's a sporting state compared to a lot of other states. There have been a lot of athletes from here. You take volleyball, you take football. There's a lot of love for sports here. The problem is basketball is still an alien sport here. So whenever you go around ask for funding for basketball, you don't get it. And I'm saying sitting in Kochi.
Yeah.
Kochi is kind of the
Yeah.
city in Kerala, and you don't get funding for a tournament in Kerala. So, but then 2018 was the first edition of Don Bosco Arena, and that happened only because we had a lot of bad experiences traveling for tournaments. So we wanted to set an example where this is how a tournament should be done. This is how the game should be treated. This is the kind of beats related to the game. This is how a player should be treated. This is the kind of prize money. If you come for a tournament, 12 players are coming for the tournament. If you're getting 10,000 as prize money, right? That is your money back to travel back home. I would probably want to give them a lakh, because at least that can help them buy one shoes. That can probably of use for them for let's say 4 5 months, right? A good basketballing shoe. So that has been the purpose, and that's one motto we have always stuck onto. And uh, it's only possible because there are at least 7 to 8 people in our community who believe exactly like what I do. Like, no matter what happens, we are going to do this, even if it's taking loan from someone else, or even if it's taking loan from a bank. We are going to do it because we are who we are. We are healthy. We are able to have a good, let's say, mental life only because of the game of basketball. And this is how we give it back to the game. And that's just what 6 days from a year, right? But you need to work hard. You need to put uh, a lot of what you get, your physical effort or mental effort to make this work. So I have people like Binoy, who's, like, for example, Binoy is one of the main people behind Don Bosco Arena. He's in UK now. He's doing his post graduation there. He's working in KFC as a part time work. Okay, even for this tournament, that dude put in around 55, 60,000, working extra hours for the tournament. I have people who have taken personal loans from other people. I have people who have had work. How do I say? Uh, Part-time works. People have worked for Swiggy to make this work, and and that's not because of the effort I put in. They share exactly the same thing what I share, and I'm very lucky when it comes to meeting a crowd like that. There are people who, like, when I look at people and their contributions, right? A lot of people come from very humble backgrounds. Like, they're not rich people. They're not even middle class. Okay, and but they put in a lot of effort. They share, and they're extremely happy doing it, because I remember After the second arena, we traveled to Calicut for a tournament called Fiasco. In that tournament, we had interviewed the people who were running Fiasco. They were old people, like people who are 55, 60, 65, 70. That was the age of the average age of people who were conducting the tournament. So I did an interview with them, and they told this is the 50th year of them being together and hosting tournaments. I'm like, okay, that is an inspiration. Probably touch wood, if we all are alive and if we stay put till probably 40, 50 years from now, right? We won't do a 50th edition of this tournament. Irrespective of who is here, who's not here, the tournament has to happen. That
Right.
has been the motto, yeah.
So tell me this, if you're comfortable sharing, like what did it end up costing you to run the whole tournament?
This year, it came close to 6 lakhs
Okay.
this year. But this
Okay.
was the least because we only had it for we only had 4 days of tournament, and we had, like, let's say, uh, 5 best teams in the South coming and play. We had
Right.
Loyola from Chennai. We had the best college team, Kerala from Kerala. We had Bengar the Manisha, which is kind of the best team in Bangalore. They had Gowda, Pratyanshu Tomar, all the players who plays for Karnataka State. We had the Pan India team, Jain University, people from 6 states. They came down, and SB College, which is also like the team. A lot of them play for the Kerala team. So we had kind of, let's say, All India University top 8. We had 4 teams from the South coming and participating. So tournament is good quality tournament, and we this year there's a lot of issues regarding the timing of the, because usually it's the last week of January, but we didn't have. I was traveling for the prime volleyball thing till Feb. I was back in town only on the 27th of February, so I could not be there. We hosted all of this in 10 days,
Okay.
and in Instagram also there are few people, okay, who are whom I'm close to, whom I know, who actually help. Like, there's no need for them to help. When I say, okay, 500 people could probably contribute 200 each and make this work, or 2,000 each could make this work, there are at least 4 5 people over the years who has been a constant support. Like Alphonse, a lot of people, like they have always been helpful. So I'm forever grateful to them, because this thing is going to be a collective thing, and the fact that we have been doing it for 6 years now, seventh edition this time, it's the change is not going to show in probably the next 5 years, probably 10 years down the line, right? You'll start seeing some visible changes in the
Right.
quality of tournament being hosted and a lot of stuff. So I think it's a 10 year, 15 year, 20-year project what we're doing here.
Superb. I also want to ask you a few more things. So I am actually a marketer by profession, and I'm always
Yeah.
interested in marketing numbers. And when you pointed out that sponsors, you didn't get a lot of sponsors. I just wanted to understand, like, what is the amount of visibility which you ended up getting? Like, how many people ended up seeing the tournament? Not one is, of course, the number of players who came in, but how many people ended up seeing the tournament?
That is, like, this year, probably I
Hmm.
would say 1,000 people, 1,500. That's it. But the year
Okay.
before that and all, we had around 5,000, 10K crowd coming in. Not all, one day, but altogether we had around 10K people coming and watching and leaving. But that was not
Right.
the case this year. This year it was comparatively less. Another thing is where we conduct the tournament, Don Bosco, the 10th, 12th board exams were happening for kids
Right.
who stays there. Okay, so we were given orders on, like, not to get a lot of crowd and create a lot of noise out there. So the way way I pitch to people who are potential sponsors is, right, like, leave what happens on court, whatever kind of, if we want to fill the place, I can fill the place again. It's not an issue for me. I can get the whole area crowded like probably a New York street game or a New York local match again. But you look at the numbers on Instagram, which are organic numbers. None of it is
Ri-
promoted. These are
right.
organic numbers, and this is Just see the engagement ratio, see the number of shares you get, right?
Right.
So, like, let's say I make 20 videos from the tournament, right? I get at least, let's say, 2.5 million organic views,
Wow.
which is pretty solid. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying, because I don't have a lot of followers, because I've never tried getting a lot of followers, fake followers, anything like that. I
Right.
always believe, let's let people follow organically. If
Right.
not, there's no problem, there's no point, because at the end of it, it's not the numbers that matter to me. It's the
Right.
impact, and that is important for me.
It's very surprising actually because we do marketing campaigns for a lot of brands, and
Yeah.
bare minimum getting a title sponsor for at least 3 to 4 lakhs should not be a challenge over here. I think the marketing people over there are making stupid decisions, because if you calculate cost per view, to get 2.5 million views or brand impressions for a brand costs anywhere between 7 to 12 paise. And like that, if you do that, and that's a paid view, so paid views generally are valued much lesser. Your organic views to reach 2.5 million, it's a no brainer. I think I'll see if I can talk to Gopal next time when you're going to sponsors. Please make me part of some of these calls, because, and I'll see if I can also contribute, because I work with a lot of CMOs here in Bangalore. So maybe we can
Yeah,
help out in some way, because the numbers which you're talking about are ridiculous for organic views, and for a sports brand, for a fitness brand, for a health brand, it's a no brainer to do something like this.
yeah.
So very interesting perspective. Moving on, so Gopal isn't here. I'll ask one of the questions which he had, which is so Eklavya's is all about, news breaks. And have you selected the players who will be competing in the Seoul versus SBAA tournament in Dubai this December?
No, no, the Soul Above All tournament, that thing is organized by, I forgot his name, Bilal. Okay, his name is
Okay,
Bilal. He's basically, I think, he's an Iranian who settled
okay,
in Dubai. So
okay,
I was made to talk to Bilal through three of my friends, Rijo, Paili, and Vinay. Okay, so
okay,
these are the three people. These are Paili. I've played with Paili. So the
okay,
all three of them are from Kerala, and Rijo
okay.
has come and played with me in Don Bosco. So I
Right.
know Rijo through that, and Vinay is like the best friend of Rijo and a big time basketball enthusiast. I'm
Okay.
still waiting for them to get back to me because I've sent them all the videos. So I've left that uh, choice to them because
Right.
they are going to fund it. They are going to take the players everything to Dubai. So I don't
Hmm.
want to have a say of it because look, thing is I travel around. I have friendship with a lot of players, so
Right.
my
Right. Right.
judgment might be biased. So they know what's the standard. So like,
Okay.
I'm being honest here. Like I might personally like someone, right? And I
Right.
don't
Right.
think that's
Right.
fair. I think for
Right.
someone like that, where someone is getting to travel to Dubai for 7 days, every expense taken care of, I
Right.
think that has to be with Vinay, Paili, and Riju to decide
Okay. Okay.
who gets the opportunity. Because 1 week, and they have seen the tournament there, SBA. Okay, it's all about all tournament there. So
Right.
they will know what kind of players they need. They need
Right.
around seven players from India. They know what kind of players they need. So it's left to them. I've sent they have the YouTube links. So uh,
Can you give us a little bit more context for people like me who don't know about this particular tournament which you're talking about?
so it's all about SB. It's all about all tournament. It's kind of a. It's not just. It's kind of a lifestyle event which happens during the second week of December in Dubai, and a lot of teams like it's invitational tournament. A lot of teams from uh, France comes. Uh, a lot of teams from Germany comes. I'm not talking about NBA players, but ex NBA players and all come and play there. So it's a high profile uh, tournament where you get a lot of exposure and a lot of coaches come. It's kind of a and a lot of events happening, a lot of concerts happening at the same time. It's kind of a week of like the Dubai Shopping Festival, right? It's kind of a basketball come X lifestyle event that happens in Dubai at that point. So that's basically what the event is, but it's invitational. And no team from India has participated till now, except from people who are in Dubai. Their teams have participated, but a team majority with let's say 8 or 9 Indians have not participated till now.
Right.
So that is what we are trying to pull off this time around.
Awesome,
Okay,
man. Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, Gopal.
Hey, so yeah, so before we let you go, Deepak, just a last question I want to ask: what are your future plans? What do you plan for State of India in the coming years? Oh, tough question. Make him think.
Because look, I'm working with Chennai Blitz now. So thing is, it's not just basketball. What I've loved my life. Like, I follow multiple sports. I'm a hardcore, like United fan, Manchester United fan. I always been a huge cricket fan. Starting from the first day I watched WB Ram and the left-hander playing for India back in 1990. My dad is a hardcore cricket fan. Volleyball, I come from Kerala. Even in the remotest villages, you'll see volleyball tournaments hosted. So sports has been an integral part of my life. Okay, and I want to do more content from other sports like sports, uh, not just basketball. Basketball is always dear to heart. Like it's like basketball is family, the others are relatives. So I want to do more content from other sports also. uh, but prime focus right now is to use my skill set and probably let's say I created videos for Jenny Blitz this time, okay, and I think that's a page which had the most organic. They had a combined views of about 3.4 million in 45 days, and that too organic views. None of the posts were promoted, and a lot of people appreciated that work. So I love to work straight out of India. As a brand, would love to work with leagues, with other sports. IPL and ISL, I would love to work, but then they all already have a lot. All the teams have their in-house social media team and stuff and all. So that's a whole goal. Okay, I just want it to be a place where I get to live through this. This is just one-sided now. I put money, whatever work I do, I put that money into this to making this work. But I would love straight out of India to be a brand in creating content that can relate to a lot of people from any walks of the society, right? Different types of content. It's not just one type of content. So I believe probably I'm going to strive for that opportunity to work with leagues and stuff and all, and make a living out of this. And when I reach a position, and like I always believed, I've done all of this, like the quality of content I've done, right? All of this with literally no funding, like zero funding. Imagine if I have someone to help me out, saying, okay, this is our CSR act, this is what we you have a brand or a company wants to associate with me and want this to be a CSR activity, right? Imagine what kind of content I can do, because I am someone, look, I can make 59-second mixtapes, I can make 20-second reels. That does not give me happiness, honestly. What that has always given me happiness is creating a 4.5 minute documentary, let's say a 10-minute documentary, because I've always been, I love films, okay, so I've always been into filmmaking, like not like I've studied it professionally or anything, but I always wanted to direct good stuff. I wanted to direct good movie, like Pranopan's story I did, right? That also that was not structured. I did just out of instinctive compulsion, where I'm like, okay, one day I woke up and I'm like, okay, let's go to
So sorry,
Trivandrum, let
which
Pranop.
video are you referring to here?
It's there. I'll probably send you the link. It's a lot. I've done like 3-4 videos which are 4.5 5 minute videos, well edited, well directed stuff with
Right,
narration stuff and all, with proper recording and all. So
right,
that is the kind of stories I want to do. I want to travel to places. Let's say I want to travel to a place where in Haryana, right? In Haryana, where I want to travel to a village where basketball is popular. I want to probably talk about them. The kind of stories that can relate, that people outside the urban circle can relate to. I don't want basketball just to be a urban city game where people from the urban class would see it. I want to make stories, I want to make videos that people from every other, like I want people from, I still believe, like in Kerala there are 4 sports hostels or 5 sports hostels, which creates around 50 players a year, right? I still believe the pool should be 200, right? When you
right,
see NCAA, right? When you see NCAA, you see the number of colleges coming and participating, the number of upsets you see on a daily basis. You see the quality of players in each team. So
right,
when you are selecting from a pool of 200, imagine if you get to select from a pool of 2,000. You get more players. The game becomes more competitive. For that, I think the most important thing is a league has to come. Number one. Second thing, there should be a situation where people would say, even if I don't get a government job, I can still make a lot living out of probably playing abroad. And a lot of again, I say all of this, but I personally know that it's not just a 1 year project; it's a 10-year project.
right,
So
right,
someone
right.
has to come and someone has to do it. So fingers
Makes
crossed. I
sense.
believe. I wish I can do it at some point. So let's see.
Awesome, man. Deepak, it was awesome having you. Guys, you have got to follow his Instagram. It's awesome, straight out of India. So really, really well done. Local Indian basketball and Indian volleyball content. Loving it. The more you follow him, the more his Instagram account goes. It'll be, even if you are not able to contribute financially, just by following and sharing his account and his posts, you're supporting that, and he can use that to showcase it to brands, get more money into basketball. So huge shout out to straight out of India. Thank you so much for doing this, Deepak. It was wonderful
Thank
having
you.
you.
Thank you, Deepak. Lovely having you.
Thank you to both of you. So yeah, thank you so much.
Bye, Deepak. Do follow Straight Out
Bye.
of India, everyone.
Yes,
Moving
sir.
on to our next guest. So, Gopal, there is a very interesting story surrounding this next guest. Over
Yes,
to you.
sir. Yeah, so the next guest is a very, very special and unique story because Hindi speaking Nigerian dunker. And that's his claim to fame, right? So Agu Stanley, there are many African students who come. This is a very untold story, Nikhil, by the way, right? There are many
Okay.
African students who come to study, even in Bangalore, by the way. Bangalore has this huge community. So
Right.
Agu Stanley is one of them. He's from Nigeria. He's been in Amity University, Lucknow. So hardcore
Okay.
Hindi belt. Okay,
Right.
Tehzeeb wali शहर में he's learning Hindi. Okay, that's the best place to even learn Hindi, I think. So yeah, he's been making waves. Okay, he's been the leading block shots. He leads in rebounds, dunks. So hey, Agu, hi, how are you doing, man?
So Agu, just unmute yourself before you talk. Perfect.
Yes, yes. Good evening. Good evening, Gopalji. Good evening, Nikhil. Am I audible?
Yeah, yeah, you're
Yeah,
audible, man.
you're
Go ahead.
audible, but your video is horizontal, right, Nikhil?
That's okay.
We'll make him move his phone around. I think that's worth the wait.
Okay.
I mean,
So can you just Agu, just tilt your phone
right.
and keep the
This way.
rotation on.
One more tilt. Come on.
Just keep the auto rotation on. That's it.
Okay.
We should pull this out, man,
Yeah,
Nikhil.
perfect.
Yeah, it's done.
Okay. How are you, Agu? What's up, man?
I'm fine. I'm fine. मैं ठीक हूँ.
मैं ठीक सही है, सही है. So, Agu, thank you so much for joining us. Learning proper
No problem.
Lucknowi Hindi. बहुत सही है. So,
Yeah.
Gopal, over to you.
Yeah. So first question is, how does a guy from Nigeria end up in India, man? Let's start there.
I came here to study actually. I finished my 12th in 2016, and I was looking for admission to study pharmacy actually because I'm actually doing bachelor's of pharmacy right here.
Okay.
So the first year I did not make the names for those selected for pharmacy. I was given biochemistry, and the second year also the same thing happened. So my father said, I think it's better you go outside. And like he had friends in India, like business partner. He was in the pharmaceutical line, so like they suggested some colleges, and eventually I ended up in Amity in
Okay.
2019.
Okay. So before coming to India, I mean, what have you heard about India? What did you think about India?
I the, the image I had about India was what we see in the movies, obviously. Until I came here and I saw okay.
Which was the first Indian movie you've seen, man?
I think I've seen the Three Idiots. Three Idiots. I saw Three Idiots
Okay.
before. That's before coming to India. And like I've seen so many Indian movies that like I can't remember their names. Like it's always about voodoo, magic. We think that like there's a lot of magic in India back home.
Okay. And is that true?
अभी तक कोई magic नहीं देखा.
Okay. So tell me this: what's your experience been in India? Specifically, what's your experience been in Indian basketball as well?
अभी तक अच्छा चल रहा है. अभी
Okay.
the BBL has come now, which has made it more like everybody has a passion to play professional basketball, and EPBL is making us live that dream also. So basically, I did not used to play basketball before coming to India. I was more of a sprinter, 100 meter, 200 meter, long jump, high jump.
Right.
So within the span of I think 1 year, I grew tall, like above 6 feet, and then everybody was like, I should do boxing. I either play boxing or I do basketball.
Right.
So on coming to India, I came to India like 2 days into college. My college has a basketball court. They have two basketball courts actually.
Okay.
So I went on the court and everybody thought I could actually play because I was tall. Now they thought tall guys from Africa they play basketball.
Right.
So I said I did not know how to play. Like you guys should teach me. And they gave they gave me the ball and they said ये मजाक कर रहा है. Like everybody was like they said put the ball in the basket. So I took
Right.
the ball and like my first shot was a dunk because at that time I was like a high jumper and I jumped and I dunked the ball and everybody went crazy in the college. Like the whole ground went crazy. I was like, what happened? It was so easy. They said do it again, I did it again.
Right. Right.
So
Right.
like that was how I eventually started playing basketball in India, like past 3 years.
Okay. And outside of basketball, like, what's your experience been living in India? हिंदी सीखने
Yeah,
में क्या क्या सीखा है आपने?
अरे सब सीखा है अच्छा वाला हो गंदा वाला सब सीखा है
Right.
so basically I think I polished my Hindi in lockdown.
Okay.
Yeah, I came to India August 2019 and the lockdown came around March
Okay.
2020. So I was all alone and like then I started watching more of Hindi movies.
Right.
Basically, I started learning from Hindi movies and my friends around.
Right.
So I have a friend whose name is Utkarsh. So basically, I polished his English and he polished my Hindi. It was like vice versa.
Right.
Like barely to he did not know how to speak like basic English, and now he can communicate properly in Hindi. In English, just I can communicate in Hindi.
Right. Understood. Okay. Moving
And for you
on.
to live in a place, for you to live in a place like Lucknow, actually, you have to learn the language if you want to survive.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Really.
I can understand. I have some very interesting Lucknow friends, and if you don't talk to them, then the work doesn't happen. So,
Exactly, especially the guys.
yeah. So, moving on, Gopal.
Yeah, so this is a serious question, man. Like
Yeah.
sometimes even
Yeah.
we see on some of the comments, right? Like, have you obviously as an African player in India, have you faced racism? Is that something like how do you deal with that, man? If you have,
So like everybody who knows me, I'm like a very calm. I'm very calm and collected kind of person. Like my friends call me gentle giant. So like I think now I'm used to it now. So anybody who says it now, I don't take attention to it. Sometimes they're just trying to draw necessary attention which we don't give them. And like it's something that I'm used to now. Like people calling me Kalu, like जब हम लोग खेल रहे हैं ना, they'll be like कालू को पकड़ो, पीछे से आ रहा है कालू ऐसे वाला कुछ वो बोलता है वहाँ पे,
Right,
और
right,
तो
right,
मुझे फर्क नहीं पड़ रहा है.
right.
I just like, let it fly.
Okay. So, adding on to that, in a more positive note, your Instagram bio says Hindi speaking Nigerian. So, any funny reactions
Yeah.
from people when they hear you speak Hindi?
They are always very surprised, very surprised, very surprised. Like when I go to a shop now, like the shopkeeper is trying to speak English. He doesn't know English, but he wants to sell something now. He tries to
Right.
speak English. And like अरे भैया मुझे हिंदी आती है हिंदी में बोल दो या फिर like अरे भैया आप हिंदी समझते हैं हाँ भाई समझता है भैया the most amazing part also
Dude,
I know the numbers
you got
also.
you got to record some of these, incidents and upload it on
Yeah.
Instagram and YouTube. Trust me, it's gonna get a lot of
Yeah, for sure. Like even I know the countings also. Like when it even comes to paying money and all, I know the 1 to 10. I can say 1 to 100 very easily in Hindi.
right.
So like I know the numbers also. So they make it more easy for them. They don't believe. Sometimes they're like we have cancer. Like I'm Bihar se. I'm from Bihar.
Wow, that's a great response. So, Gopal, you had a question. So I think Gopal is facing some connectivity issues. I'll ask his question here. So being
Okay.
in Lucknow, Lucknow
Yeah.
is known for some amazing food. Have you tried
Yeah.
the tunde kebabs and biryani?
Yeah. I've been to Tunni Kebab, Rahim. I tried every Tunni Kebab, biryanis, every biryani I tried.
Right.
Kebab, yeah, I tried Sikh kebab, whatever it is.
So I'll put you on the spot. Like,
Okay.
how do you compare Nigerian food to Indian biryanis?
No.
Ooh.
It's always,
Okay,
no. Home food always. Home food.
Okay. Okay.
Home
Great.
food.
Okay, I think from food though, we can move to movies. Okay, now this is very interesting. I don't know how many people know this. Like even Nigeria you have your own film industry, right? It's called Nollywood,
Yeah.
and I
Not
know
good,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, but I also believe that a lot of Hindi movies and Bollywood movies are very popular, right, in Nigeria. So, do you have
Yeah.
any favorite Bollywood movies or actors and any dialogues that you remember from these movies?
Yeah. I like lots of Indian movies. Like right now, I see only Indian movies. I don't remember last time I went to Nollywood or Hollywood. Like every time you see me seeing a movie, I'm always seeing Hindi movies. So like
Right.
I'm a big fan of actors like Amitabh Bachchan, Ajay Devgan, Pankaj Tripathi, Nawaz Siddiqui. Shahid Kapoor, Amir Khan, like this kind of actors.
Any dialogues you remember?
Uh, yeah, I acted one. Actually, I acted one drama in college in my first year. It was from Sholay. I don't know if you know Sholay.
Of course, dude.
Gabbar.
Everyone knows Sholay in
Yeah,
India, man. Come on.
that goes.
सबको पता
Adiyo
है.
Samba. इतनी आदमी थी 2,000 वो दो और तुम थे फिर भी वापस आ गए. Yeah, I remember that dialogue.
Very nice.
Oh, crazy.
That's line
Nice.
by line, word by word, perfect. So moving on,
Yeah,
being a bowler, you have some
yeah.
really entertaining, shots as well on your Instagram feed. I mean, from the entertainment side, have you got interesting offers from modeling agencies or maybe even Bollywood?
No, right? अभी तो कुछ नहीं. अरे, अभी तो कुछ नहीं यार. देखते हैं फिलहाल
I'm
कुछ होगा.
I'm sure you will. I have another question as a
Yeah,
bowler.
I hope so. Yeah.
So one of the things, have you come across someone in India or in the tournaments which you've played who's more athletic than you?
Who is more athletic than me?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Wow.
No, I've seen people as athletic as I am, but not more athletic than I am. I think so.
Okay. And have you come
Yeah.
across players who are better than you?
Yeah, obviously, I've come across players who are better than me.
Okay. So
I've been playing for just around 3 years. I'm still learning. I'm still in the learning phase.
right,
So
right,
yes, I
right.
know like कितना time में कर सकता हूँ.
Interesting. Okay. So moving on, Gopal, over to you.
Yeah, yeah. So this is something that we have a new segment, right? Agu, and your Hindi is good enough, so you'll understand the meaning of this, right? It's called Kicks Ki Kahani. Okay, the story behind kicks. So we just want
It's
to
okay.
know
That's
from
a kiss,
you.
man.
Yeah, so we just want to know from you, what are your favorite basketball sneakers? Do you have any? What are you wearing right now? Can you show it to us, or what's your philosophy behind wearing basketball shoes, or do you just wear anything and you're okay with it?
Actually, I've always loved to wear Lebrons, but I've never had the opportunity to wear them. But my कहानी मतलब किक से कहानी है कि मेरा साइज 13 नंबर है, 13-14 नंबर है और बहुत मुश्किल मिलना है मतलब
Dude, I face the
बहुत
same issue,
मुश्किल
man. I can't
बहुत
find bloody
मुश्किल मिलना है तो जो जो स्नीकर्स मिला है ना जो पहनता है जो पहनना है. And मेरा दिक्कत है कि I'm 110 kgs, right? So and I jump a lot. So what happens is when I wear shoes for like straight 2-3 months, then the soles get open, like they open from behind, the soles, like beneath. So right now I'm wearing Spider Mitchells. You know
Oh,
Spider Mitchells, this one.
yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh,
That's what
nice.
I'm wearing now. The best one I ever wore was Why Not? So that's Westbrook's.
Okay, perfect. Very nice.
Awesome. 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 Awesome.
So perfect, Agu. It was wonderful having you. And guys, you
Yeah.
can follow Agu on Instagram. Very, very entertaining profile, I must say. And hearing him speak Hindi as well. I mean, I'm loving it. I don't know why. So
Hey, hey, Nikhil. I think you know what? I think we're going to go to our NBA segment after this, right? We're
right.
going to
So
switch
you
it
can
up.
ask him
But
some.
yeah,
Yeah.
let's ask him some NBA questions. So, Agu, have you been following this season? Who are your favorite teams and players? Can you take us through your predictions for?
My favorite team has always been Lakers.
Okay.
Yeah, because of my favorite player, obviously LeBron.
Okay.
But now they are in a very tight spot now. They are like struggling to make it even in the playings.
Right.
The playings. But right now,
I
I
I
think
LeBron
this
think
is
season,
back. LeBron is back
I
now.
think they'll make it,
yeah,
man.
he's back.
Although they lost today's
Lost
game,
today, yeah, they lost today. But I think
and
they'll make
LeBron,
it.
yeah, I think they'll make it. Especially because Mavs are struggling, and I don't know. I don't have faith on
Yes,
the
yes.
Thunder
Mavs are
like
struggling.
something like that.
And today, Timber was won by silly turnover at the
Yeah,
end of
yeah,
the Warriors
yeah,
game.
yeah.
Very
They
silly
won by,
turnover.
yeah, exactly, a very very silly turnover. I think
Last.
Warriors will be in the playoffs directly, but I think Lakers will make the play-in, and if they make the play-in, they'll be one of the most dangerous teams. I feel.
Yes, yes, yes. If they make the playoffs, like they
Yeah,
should make it now. But I
yeah.
think the guy who's killing it this season is Joel Embiid. I think he deserves the MVP. Joel Embiid is killing it
he's
this
he's on
season.
a campaign to win the MVP this year.
Yeah, I think he's going to win it.
Let's see. Let's see.
Like he has not come to play this season.
I honestly feel, although he's not played enough games, the best player has been Giannis. He's
Ah,
just
yes.
tore up the league.
Giannis too. Yeah,
Yeah.
Giannis too is like on a bad day he's dropping 25, 30 points. On a bad day. Yeah,
Exactly.
on a bad day he's like dropping 25, 30 points. So yeah,
So
because
which
having injuries, right?
right?
He had an injury on his wrist recently.
Yeah. Which NBA player do you feel you're most alike your game?
Everybody calls me Indian Zion. I think maybe Zion himself because of
Okay.
how explosive I am.
Yeah. Right. So you're probably the most explosive player you've come across, especially in Indian circuits. No one has been as explosive as you.
Yeah, yes. No, I've known
What
no one
about the
like you.
Mavs? Agu, have you been following the Mavs? Like, what are your thoughts about the Mavs? Mavs this year.
I I don't know. Luka Doncic and Kyrie are not like. I don't think they are working. Their chemistry is coming up together. Like they've lost 7 of their last 9 games.
Exactly. Yeah. And they've lost when Luca and Kyrie have played together. They've won just 3 games out of the last 10. So it's very
Yeah.
sad.
And the
It's
Brooklyn Nets also. Brooklyn Nets are also coming up with Cameron playing this guy, Michael Bridges.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, I
Nets.
mean, I think they're very young to actually make a real push. So that'll be an
Yes,
interesting,
yes, yes, yes. Obviously.
right? So perfect, Agu. It was wonderful having you. One last question before we let you go. So,
Okay.
I mean, of course, you're here, but do you have goals of trying to pursue basketball professionally?
Yeah. That's my primary goal right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow,
After
that's
getting
really
my
good.
degree, I try to see if it's possible for me to play pro outside India.
Perfect, man.
But
It
I
was.
know I have to I have to upgrade my game also. Like
Mhm.
after upgrading my game, because I have a visa out till February next year. So I
Right,
have a coach also here. So he helped me like polish my game and like make me prepared for the professional world.
right. Perfect. So, Agu, it was wonderful having you here. Uh,
Yes, sir.
Sure.
Thank you so much for doing this, guys. Please do follow Agu. Very interesting profile to follow. I'm sure you're gonna have, at the very least, you'll be blown away by his explosiveness, and you'll have a great time. Do follow him. Thank you so much for doing this, Agu.
Thank you.
Thanks, Agu. Thank you. Lovely having you.
And you guys, thank you very much.
Bye,
Bye.
man.
Bye.
Okay, so guys, that was Agu. You can follow him. Very interesting profile to say the least. And as you can see, I mean, he has real hoop. He
Yeah,
has a real hop.
look at the athleticism, man. Like
Right,
this is like an athlete move. Anyway,
right.
yeah. Go ahead. Let's go to the next section.
So moving on
Ah.
to the NBA. So we had there were 8 games today, but we had 3 very interesting ones. So let's directly jump to the playoff picture. Let's talk
Hmm.
about the East first. So Celtics won their game. Nothing crazy to talk about in the East. It was pretty straight up. And I mean, East, I think the standings are pretty much set. But what's more interesting is what's happening in the West. So, 3 specific games which I followed today, very interesting stories. The first one is the Warriors and the Wolves game. Now, this was an interesting game. It's always fun to see the Warriors and Wolves match up, primarily because Warriors are an aggressively small team and Wolves are massive. You have Gobert and Carl Anthony Towns and Reed, all of them, 6'8", 6'10 plus. Gobert is like 7'2", 7'3". So they're a huge team, whereas Warriors are a small team, and they've actually split the season series with the Warriors. So Wolves split the season series. They won today, 99-93. It was a fun game to watch. I was surprised that the Warriors lost because Wolves had the game in their hand. Warriors were not playing that well. But towards the end, you generally expect Warriors to, out execute the opponent and pull it off. But what's been the story this year with Jordan Poole, who's played relatively well, but has blown a lot of games because of his last minute or clutch inability to, withhold turnovers or take bad shots. So he did that today. Being up, he took a horrible shot from the half court, a three where they had sufficient time to get a better shot. He just pulled up, and I don't know. Sometimes I guess they go in, but sometimes they don't. They were up. They just literally gave the ball to the Wolves. and Wolves were able to make a play. And after that, he had an there was a turnover which he did. I mean, Steph was responsible for that turnover as well. But I think Warriors, one specific player who I loved watching last year, and thank God he's back on the Warriors, is Gary Payton too.
Hmm.
Absolutely loved
Yeah.
him. He played really well today as well. Makes superb decisions on the offensive end, and on defense. The best player to watch. Split second decisions can swing the game. He just played for 15 minutes today. But mark my words, if GP2 plays like this, my prediction that Warriors go to the finals will come true. So some of you commented that your pick of Warriors is just, it's like you are, trying to talk it into existence. Guys, you are not seeing what I am seeing. Just look at their home record. It's top 2, top 3 in the league. And the away record, they just didn't take it seriously enough. Like that's been the story. So the Warriors Wolves game were very interesting, and Cat, I mean, had a great game. He hit the game winner, like as a like how guards these days, you're right, they just run up and instead of going to the basket, they just pull up from the three, right, during the fast break. He did that exact same thing, and Cat is a great shooter, 40% plus 3 point shooter, very consistent with his shot. Absolutely drilled it, and they won the game. The next game, before that, Gopal, I don't know, did you see the game? Any thoughts on this?
Yeah, so I have a specific sort of question regarding Anderson, right? I think he's been a find for them, right? What are your thoughts about
So
Anderson?
slow
For me,
mo.
yeah, slow mo. Yeah,
Slow mo has been a so slow mo has always been a good, reliable player. Like he's never he's slow mo, man. He's never too rushed. He's any team he's played on, from the Spurs to the Grizzlies, now to the to the Timberwolves. He's been consistent. He's been consistently good. Makes decent plays. Not very athletic, but his timing and all is good. So he was the one who actually got the steal, which led
still,
to
yeah,
Cats
yeah,
three. It was a really cool steal, although you could say that that was a foul, but like it was a take foul actually, but whatever, the refs didn't call it and he got the steal, and that happens in the course of the game. He's been a great find, but then that's how it's been for him throughout his career. Like he's always a good enough player, but he's ended up being used as a part of a lot of trade deals for whatever reason. So he's been a good player, can win games, but let's see. Not a high impact enough that he can win you playoff games, but good enough to maybe win you few regular season games here and there.
yep, yep. Awesome, awesome.
So the next one was the Lakers Bulls game. Now the Lakers, had they won this game, they would have jumped up and they would have been tied at the seventh position with the Wolves. They're making a great comeback after the deal which sent Westbrook away and got them an entire cast. But they lost it. And during this game, although I can't play this clip, there was a. I'll see if I can play the clip actually. But there was
You
a
can
very
play 10
very
seconds.
yeah. So, but there was a very very interesting time when Pat Bev, who's like the absolute dog of the NBA, he hit a jump hook on LeBron and said he's too small. Oh my god. Like, can you imagine that? Like LeBron too small. The bloody
Yeah,
beast, the most dominant player of our generation. And but yeah, that's Pat Bev, man. Like you gotta play with that mindset, irrespective of what you if you have that mindset, you never know. You may end up pulling off wins like this. Great
yeah.
game.
LeBron
LeBron
is back,
scored.
Nikhil. Yeah,
Yeah,
LeBron
LeBron's
is back.
back. That's great news for the Lakers. I really see them making a real push, to actually end up becoming one of, forget about planes. I think they easily make the planes, but I think they may even get into fifth or sixth positions. Clippers and Warriors got to be really careful because they're just 1 or 2 games away. So 1 or 2 games going this way, that way, and you end up in the plane. So Lakers, great news, super push, and I believe they are the most dangerous team in the playoffs, like even more than the Warriors, simply because they now have, you get LeBron, another star player, and enough 3 point shooters, he'll get you to the finals. So, Gopal, I'm sorry, your audio has gone down. but yeah, that's pretty much that was a very interesting game. Now during the Mavs game, this has been a horrible uh, like sight to see, and this really raises questions on Kyrie more than anyone, which is Luca with a decent player like Jalen Brunson last year easily took them to the Western Conference Finals. Kyrie, who is in all regards an upgrade over Jalen Brunson, and they are losing games. They are a shit team with Kyrie and Luca, and I just can't seem to wrap my mind around it. Like, how the hell the two best one-on-one players, Luca, who's an incredible passer, Kyrie, who's probably the best one-on-one player, like in line with. Sometimes I feel he does stuff on the court which even Kevin Durant can't do. They're not able to work it out. Like, I do not understand. Just take the 2015-16 Cavs playbook and play the same bloody thing. Like, why are you doing anything else? Just do that. Like, you have Luca is LeBron. He is like he is LeBron, man. Like, in the
Yeah,
way he plays the game.
that's a perfect analogy. That's what I wanted to ask you. Is Luca playing off the ball? Are they doing that, or what's how are they going about it? Because the analogy you gave is perfect. You should have Luca play the LeBron position and have Kyrie bring up the ball. It frees up Luca to do so much, from the post, considering his size and his playmaking ability.
No, so that's not happening. That's one of the things I've seen. It's been like it's been pretty much, you go once, then I'll go once, then you go once, then I'll go once. And that's silly. Like, mid post area where LeBron dominated in 2015-16, that's where Luca is also at his best. He's one of the best post players in the NBA. I think he's even more refined in the post than LeBron as well. Like, even you can see that.
I wish Agu was here when you said this, but okay.
But because his post game is very refined. He plays like Larry Bird in the post. Very very similar. Lot of fakes, gets defenders, has 2-3 people on him and finds an easy pass. No, like, he's bringing up the ball and then he's bringing up the ball. There's very few real sets. I see both of them standing around each other. They're playing similar to James Harden and Chris Paul in the Rockets time. They're not really playing like LeBron and Kyrie. So there's, like, many people say Luka ends up playing a lot like James Harden at times. Although I disagree. I think he has a much more refined game. But I don't know. I can't believe this is not working out. Like, I don't know what's wrong. If is it really they just need more reps, if that's the issue, because they can't afford it now. They're out of the play-ins, dude. Can you believe? Beginning of the year, had I told you Luca won't be in the, dude, I honestly felt the Mavs had the best chance of making the finals this year. Like, before the season started, because of how well Luca played, during the last year's playoffs. And I tell you now that they're not even going to make the play-in tournament. Forget the playoffs. I don't know. It's really strange sight. Like, I never thought this will be the position they find themselves in. Uh, and this is supposed to work. Like, I don't understand. I honestly feel Kyrie is the problem, man. Because any team he goes to, the Celtics, he leaves, they go to the finals, right? The Nets, okay, I mean, we'll see, but I think Nets are doing relatively well. Uh, Cavs, they are back to the race. Their second, third position. He leaves, and this happens. Like, uh, when he left LeBron, LeBron still carried them to the finals. Like, you really have to wonder the drama which Kyrie comes with. Is it really worth it? Because the on-court performance just, it does not make sense to me. Like, what are they doing wrong? I don't understand.
Yeah, yeah, but I mean, I guess there are good seasons and bad seasons, right? You just have to. But what I'm reading though is that Kyrie has been showing. Apparently, he's been showing some great discipline and work ethic and commitment. So apparently, all this is just hate, right? If you go by what word is coming out from the team, that Kyrie is not, at least noticeably, not the problem, right? There is, unless they're arguing about whether the world is flat or not. That's a separate thing. But at least when it comes to his on-court performance, I
So
don't
this
think
is what happens in every team he goes to, right? Like, when he went to the Celtics, he too did the same thing. He was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna resign here, and I'm gonna be here, and we're gonna help build this." In the first year, and then he gets injured, and the second year he has a lot of antics, and then the third year he just leaves, and that was silly. Like, uh, I really thought Kyrie with the Celtics with the young core of Jalen Brown, Jason Tatum right now. Just think about it on paper. If I had that team in NBA, in NBA 2K, I would be killing it too. Like, we're gonna do this, we're before the playoff starts. Maybe we'll run some simulations, and we're gonna, guys, do follow Eklavya's YouTube channel and subscribe for that. But we're gonna actually play NBA 2K. Just look at it on paper, man. Jalen Brown, Jason Tatum, Kyrie Irving. That's it. I don't want anyone else. Just give me two filler guards and I'm good. And then those filler guards, they had Marcus Smart, who's like defensive player of the year. They had Al Horford, who's a super versatile center. And that team, like, on paper, that's like, that team can compete with the Warriors, of 2017, 2018. But I don't know. They did nothing. Like, it just became a nothing burger, and it's happening again. Like the Mavs with Luca, great team. Like they have a lot of 3 point shooters around them. So, what was the formula which worked in 2015, 16, 16, 17 to get them to the finals for Kyrie and LeBron? It was Kyrie, LeBron, and three great shooters or five great
Mm,
shooters around them.
mm.
Mavs have that. So I don't know if it's the coach problem, or I honestly, the common link behind a lot of these disappointing teams has always been Kyrie Irving. And that's really sad because he's amazing as a player. Like, you watch him play basketball, and like, how do you say, like Mike, like literally I want to be like Kyrie when you see him play. But for whatever reason, it never results in on-court performance.
What about the defense, Nikhil? Like, have they given up too much defensively? Can you take us through the Mavs defense?
See,
What do
my
you see?
point here is this: defensively, they were never going to be a great team, but you have sufficient offensive power to just overcome that. Like, like the Nuggets have not been great defensively, but then their offensive power of with Jokic just calling the shots has been legendary. So that can't be an excuse, especially not in today's NBA, which is so focused on high volume scoring, and you have two of the highest volume scorers.
Yeah.
It's sad. I hope they make it to the playoffs. I think they are a dangerous team, but still, it's very surprising, very sad to see. And the fact that they're 3-7, dude, they were going to be the fourth seed or the fifth seed before the stretch. They were literally competing with Suns for the fourth seed, and now
Mm.
they're not going to make the plains. It's sad. It's absolutely sad. I hope there's no injury going on with these two players. If there is, I think they should just, you don't risk it. These two players are too valuable to risk if they're playing through injuries. But still, it's extremely sad. And they freaking lost to the Hornets, Gopal. Like,
It's
without Lamelo Ball, who the hell is playing? There's no one. Who the hell is playing? Like, you have got, you have some random players. I'm checking the roster. I can only recognize Gordon Hayward in their starting lineup. Gordon Hayward, PJ Washington, Mark Williams. Who the hell is Mark Williams? Don't know. Swee, some guy called Swee, and then Dennis Smith Jr. And they lost to this starting lineup. Really, Luca and Kyrie. My God, I don't understand. Moving on to the playoff picture. So this is the playoff picture which you're seeing right here. I expect Lakers to get to the seventh spot. I think Warriors win their next couple of games. I think Warriors Clippers is going to be very interesting to see who gets the fifth seed. But more importantly, the team which gets the fifth seed plays the Suns, and most likely Suns without Kevin Durant. So, like, many people would think that that's going to be a easy series, and for Clippers or the Warriors, right? The 5-6, I think, is going to be Clippers or the Warriors. So if Clippers get it, I think they just steamroll the Suns with or without KD. And if Warriors get it, and I think if they have Wiggins is still not playing for personal reasons, but if they get Wiggins, I think they steamroll through Suns again. And in the second round, whom do they meet? They meet Nuggets. And I think for both Warriors and Clippers, they think that Nuggets are going to be an easy series. So that'll be very interesting to see. The fifth, sixth seed actually end up getting to the conference finals. Fifth, sixth, Warriors, Clippers. That's for the West. And for the East, I still got my bet on the Bucks, man. It's going to be Giannis with his Bucks and Warriors. Very interesting to see in
what
the
about the Nets?
finals. So Nets, they're a young team, man. They've lost a lot of players. They just have Mikael Bridges now, and like TK, like they'll make a push, they'll win maybe a playoff series, maybe they'll win few games, but they're not going to make a deep impact. Whom
Hmm.
I'm more interested in. So the story is actually how deep can Sixers go?
Hmm. Hmm.
Because of course Joel is on his MVP campaign and he's been grinding like crazy, but he's huge, and has he tired himself out? Because I think that's a big mistake which he's doing. I think playoff success matters more than MVPs. A finals MVP is 10 times, 100 times more valuable than the regular season MVP. You talk to any regular season MVP, they'll tell you like they'd give it up for the finals MVP in a heartbeat. And I think Joel Embiid will get to the second round, but will tire out and again have a second round exit, like the fifth or
Ooh.
sixth time in his career. Because I don't know, like I just for whatever reason I've not been able to. And the second reason is also Doc Rivers, like
Oh, you're a Doc Rivers hater, right?
look,
Overrated coach. Overrated coach. Doc Rivers. That's
three
all that.
one five times, 3-1. Like what the hell? How can you give that up 5 times? Like if you see, so you won't believe the first full playoff series which I had seen, the whole series, every single game, every single minute, was Kobe Bryant Lakers versus Boston Celtics uh, in the finals. And by the way, your audio is gone. But basically, the first time I'd seen was this, and the first time they fought against each other, the Celtics came out on top. And I don't think it was because of Doc Rivers, but it was because of KG. KG was healthy and he was like one of the best players on the planet. The second time they played, KG was knocked up. Like he was completely, his knee was screwed. He didn't have any athleticism left. He was just playing on his mind. And the game literally went to the seventh game. And in the fourth quarter, Boston Celtics has a 13-point lead. And Phil Jackson, literally in the huddle, says, Doc Rivers' team give up every single double digit lead they had this season. Like, can you? He's not even coaching his team, bro. He's telling the other coach sucks so badly that they keep giving up double digit leads this season. This is game 7 of the finals. And they did. They gave up the fucking double digit lead in the game 7. I don't know. Like, I think something's really wrong with this coach of the other coaches using his coaching telling it this guy sucks. Like, so, but yeah, I mean, that's another reason why I think any other coach, I would have actually given it to Sixers, but I don't think with Doc Rivers they go through. And second part is Joel Embiid trying so hard during the regular season to win the MVP. I think he's tired himself out.
Yeah, let's
So,
see. Let's see.
so that's about it, guys. That's the playoff picture. Uh, this was the second episode of Desi Bowlers. Gopal, any parting words for our audience?
Yes, I mean, thanks again for joining us, and thanks to the guests. It's always fun, Nikhil, to get such diverse guests, who brings so much perspective to the table. And again, for anyone who has been racist or thinks it's funny, it's not funny, right? So that's just a serious message to be sent out. At the end, we claim Atiti Devo Bhava, right? So anyone who comes to hoop, especially, just avoid it, right? Even I see some comments here also.
Right,
It's just unfortunate. And yeah, that's it, man. Episode 2 in the books, and we're really excited about episode 3,
right,
because we ourselves, I mean, the guest list remains a surprise, so be surprised yourself with whom we get for the next one. So
right.
yeah, thanks for joining, Nikhil. You can close out the show.
Thank you so much for joining, guys. Do subscribe to the Eklavya's channel, where you are going to see Desi Ballers 3 times a week. Very interesting guests, coverage of the NBA. And during the playoffs, you're going to have play by play coverage if possible. Stay tuned to find out. See you guys in our next episode.